It's 2025 and you probably have a website and you want more clients to find you and to buy your stuff online, and it's not working the way you'd want it to work. In this video, I want to cover exactly why you're not being found online, why you don't get that many inquiries, and if you're getting inquiries, why those may seem like they're not the right inquiries, and how to fix all of these things while showing you real life examples and tactical steps to take right now so that we can fix this. Okay, so without further ado, let me share my screen as I already am. We're going to dive into these points and we're going to make notes while we're doing so. I'm going to share some examples that we'll find online right away. I'll share some client examples and exact ways on how you can replicate this so that you can get more inquiries, more of the right inquiries, can get more people to your website. The reason why you're not being found online. If we go and we search for any kind of keyword, like for example, architecture firms in Miami. This gives you an overview of what shows up, and you've probably done this before, or you can also put in, for example, interior designers, and it gives you the results that show up. There's a couple of people that are running ads, and then we see the snack pack, which are usually 3 results that are Google My Business listings that show up on top. Many people click on some of these results and they don't really even click here to view more businesses. So this is really important if you're optimizing for these search results that you show up on top. And then we'll have some big companies like Architectural Digest. We'll have some studios that pop up here and other bigger companies that are advertising or just showing up promoting their directories where you just one listing of many listings. How can we compete and how can we show up for terms like this if we're a local interior designer or architect in Miami? Let's go through it step by step. And I like to pick right off the front. If we have the sponsored listings here, we'll look into these and see. So if you're running ads right now, if you look at many of these examples, these guys are paying a lot of money for each click. Now, when we click on them, this is actually a good example. So I'm glad I picked one, but let me find one first that isn't a great example. So this is a great example of doing it wrong. This designer here, without telling them they're doing a bad job, maybe they're just trying it on their own. Hopefully they didn't hire an expensive agency to do this for them, because they're paying for each person that clicks on this. And what happens is I then get directed directly to the homepage, which is maybe a beautiful image, but there's not really your turnkey solution for elevated interiors. Is very far down below, and there is a call us button here at the top, but there's not really any more. And then there's more about us and a lot of information, a lot of projects. Okay, we have a call to action below, but I might get lost, and then there's this Amazon order and I'm gone. When we go back to our notes, the first thing that you want is you want to have a clear call to action. CTA stands for call to action. Now, if we go back and we look at a better example of how to, if you're running ads, you want to take them on a specific landing page where they get exactly what they're looking for. I Googled for interior design firms Miami. I might be looking for an interior designer for a project. So if I click on these guys, where custom interior design meets unsurpassed elegance. So this is their title. They show me some pictures and then they give me a form to directly reach out. Name, last name, email, phone number, get free consultation. It's very clear. Nothing can go wrong. If I didn't want to fill this form because it was too much for me, I scroll a little bit further and I can call them. I can call them now and I can say, hey, I saw your design. So here again, we have both call to action buttons. We see the process. This is how it happens. Okay, cool. Again, get a free consultation or call right now. If this wasn't enough, here are some more testimonials and clients and another call to action. There's no menu for me to get lost. I cannot get lost in portfolio project or click away. This is all I get. So either I call them or I book it, and hopefully this is a tracked number, right? So that they can see each one that comes in. And there's no way for me to get lost. However, on the other examples, it's really easy to get lost. And this is what unfortunately happens for 90% of the time. Even if you hire an expensive agency, sometimes they'll just run some ads. Usually a good agency should not do that. Many freelancers or people just trying Google ads on their own will not go through that process of creating an entire landing page, just because it's more effort, right? You gotta write the copy, do the landing page, connect the tools, maybe even get a dedicated phone number for this landing page. It's a little bit more complex and it needs more work to do it properly. Going to the next steps, right? These people that show up here and why people do not show up. So I'm gonna again pick an example from one of the pages a little bit further in the back end to see if we find an example that is not doing a great job. Here we have luxury interior design, Bolt living design, Let's click on these. This is probably again an example of how many interior designers and architects present themselves online and how or what we need to fix. Going on to this website, we see directly some form of logo, concept design, development, or this is a title, but I can see right now it's an image called 12. And if I look at this, it's an image which doesn't even have any proper alt text. Then we have a little bit of text which seems a little bit small to read. Then some more images which I'm assuming are projects that I can click in. No. Okay. Then further down we have a little bit more projects, but the call to action is somewhere buried down here below, which is get started, which leads to the contact form where I have a big form that I don't want to fill out right now. The main problem that this website has is every website understood by Google needs to have a specific structure, and the structure is usually a title. I have this extension here called detailed. It shows me the different SEO things of how Google sees the page right now. So here we have a title, we have a description, we have the URL, and so on. What we see when we look at this page is we see here different tags, and these tags represent how a website is seen. It starts from H1 all the way to H4 or maybe even H6. These are the different H1 most important title, H2 less important secondary title, and so on. And what you want to do is you want to have your main title as an H1, your secondary title as an H2, and so on. So Google understands what you're about and how to put you in place. And if you look at this website, they've got it all scrambled, right? We're starting with an image as a title, and then we're going into this get started as an H2. So there's no real structure to this, which makes it hard for Google to understand who you are. Then they're talking about, this page is dedicated to Miami interior designers, but there's nothing about Miami interior design in the title. There's an image, and then there's here our expertise, design, start to finish. A little bit of ChatGPT. Is not really well written copy, it's more just general text. And again, this is in no way I mean harm to this company, right? Probably maybe they put a lot of effort into writing this text, I don't know, but it isn't not talking to your ideal client. The next step, and this would actually be the first step, clear ICP. ICP stands for ideal client profile. The second step is clear call to action. The ideal client profile is something we do with all of our clients where we go very deep into this. We call it the magnetic offering. But for everyone out there that wants to do this on your own, it's very simple. Think about your ideal client. Is this an entrepreneur in Miami, for example? Or is it an elderly person looking for a second home? Who is your person that is purchasing your services? If you have past clients, think of your best clients. Who are your best clients that you loved working with? You love the project, they pay their invoices on time. Think about these people and who they were specifically. What were their challenges, wants, needs, desires in life? And how did you as a designer come in and help them meet those challenges and help them make their life better, or make them more money, or give them a better space that they could enjoy? Think very specifically about your ideal client, who they are, what they do, what money they make, what job they have, where do they live, is it their first home, their 10th home? And by being so specific, you can take your website copy and speak directly to them. The benefit to you is that when you have a landing page and a website, you're talking to your ideal client and not to everyone in a very generic format. Okay, this will also allow you to show up for keywords that your clients are searching for. This is really important. This is the first step. Once you get that nailed down and you speak specifically to one key person, that reflects in your website copy, and it also reflects in the keyword research, which we're going to go in as a third point, keywords. So keywords is really simple. That's everything which is put into the browser, right? Here we put interior design firms in Miami. That's a keyword. As many words together forms a long tail keyword. So the website that we just visited before is not showing up for this keyword anywhere, is on the 9th page of Google. There's another one here. We have interior design in Miami. So with this website, there's probably a lot going wrong. This is some kind of blog. But again, this happens a lot, right? This very maybe artsy user experience. But for me as a user, it's really difficult. I don't understand where I find the About You section, or maybe it's just by scrolling down. There's a number here to book a consultation. It seems just not clear how I get in touch and what I can get from this person. It also doesn't seem clear to me what this person really does. Is it restaurant design? Again, very generally written, modern, luxury. It's not really designed to speak to someone specific. Talking about top trends. So these are all the the similar problems, why these people are not showing up. And now let's go look at some examples that are showing up for this keyword on the top of Google. So if we go back to the number 1 page, we can open up some of the people that are showing up here. We have Studio 790. This is one way. I think this is a little bit in your face because I just wanted to, just get here quickly, but maybe useful, right? I can click away, hopefully on the mobile, it's easy to click away too. But we have a guide. We can put in our information here and download this guide and see if we get it. So we can put in here MYA, last name MYA. Okay, cool. Let's see what happens. So that's one way. These companies can collect email addresses and can see, hey, can then send me their newsletter, update me on their work, and it's already, I'm a lead in their system. But also the contact page, the title could be a little bit better. We could have a little bit more compelling keywords, but hey, they're showing up at least for interior designer Miami, so they must be doing something right. So we can go look at the back end of what they're doing that helps them show up in Google so well. We can look at, they're showing up for a couple of keywords, some of which are, like Miami interior design firms, interior designer Miami, Florida. There's a couple hundred people searching for these keywords. And the reason why they're showing up for these keywords is because they have them somewhere in their text, in their title, right? We have here Miami Interior Design Studio. This is probably the H1 or the H2.
All right, let's go. Inc. 5000.
Okay, I really hate that when there's a video or music that goes off on a website. So let's skip this one for now. Let's go to another one. Here we have the second result from the organic results. And here again, we have Miami interior designers in the title of this page. It's not their main homepage. It's a location-based page, but it's the keyword is in their main title. If we look at this, we have here the headings. We have their H1 is Miami interior designers. Then they talk about their services, more about a firm, our approach. This is kind of what makes up this page. Here, our interior design services, they say who they are and what they do. They talk about their location. Then they put in some facts about some clients that they work with, talk a little bit more about who they are, what they do, and their mission so that you can learn more about it. What's really important is for Google to understand who you are. It's really important that you have this very clear structure, and that for each keyword, if it's a location keyword, if it's your main keyword, that you have this in the title and in the main text of where you want to show up. Additionally, next to the keywords, we also need backlinks. Backlinks are what power your website. So if we look at the keywords here, we have Miami interior design, Miami architects, all of these different keywords that they're showing up for, because they have different specific location pages for these keywords, and they speak directly to this audience with their title and their structure of this page. The second reason why they're showing up for keywords that are a little bit more competitive, because they have backlinks that are linking to their site. A backlink is, without getting too complicated, is just another website linking to theirs. For example, we have here Maxine Brady, some kind of magazine or blog that is talking about what is an interior stylist and how do I become one. And somewhere in this page, they're linking out to SDH Studio. So if we search for it, SDH, we may find it. Maybe it's also within a link. So we would have to look for the links, which you can do with this plugin as well, SDH. Here we have it with the anchor interior design services, which is right here. This blog that is talking about relevant topic, right? They're talking about what is an interior stylist and how do I become one. And in here, they're linking to this page of SDH, which helps establish the authority of SDH Studio and will help them show up higher in Google. This is usually a paid partnership where either SDH Studio has reached out to Maxine Brady or this company running this blog, or they hired an agency to reach out to different blogs like this one, which then created an article for them and linked out to them. And it's important that when you're acquiring backlinks, sometimes websites will ask you for money, sometimes they'll ask you for content, sometimes it will be some kind of partnership or collaboration. But in any case, it's important that this is a real website with real traffic, real visitors, and like actual people reading this. The easiest way that you can check this is, to also see if the website's indexed in Google. You can quickly type in site and you can see this website has many websites indexed in Google. In fact, a total of 613. And if you want to, more specifically, you can go look at the website itself. Does it make sense? Does it look like there's a real person? There's even an Instagram account. So there's a lot going on, and it looks like this is a real website, a real blog, real following, which really also helps this interior design firm by getting this link. So let's put that that to our list. So we have keywords, we have backlinks. This is ultimately what helps us show up higher at the top. Okay, so if we look at some other examples, if we go back, again, not a great example because the entire above the fold is with an image, but here we have a good title. Again, Miami interior designers is in the title, which is really important for Google to understand who you're trying to show up for. I think this site seems to be mobile optimized. Doesn't really look that great on desktop, but hey, maybe it's good for all the mobile users that come to the site. A lot of context, not really a call to action. I still don't know what they do. I guess they do real estate, interior design, maybe. Even if we take these guys as well, they have a lot of backlinks that are helping them power the site. Okay, and a total of 2,800 backlinks, which are linking to their website, which help them show up for these terms on the first site of Google. So now we're gonna do a quick actionable thing. How can you take action on your site? And how can you leverage this without spending a lot of money or getting a bunch of marketing degrees and stuff like that? So the first thing that we can do is we can make sure that we're speaking to our ideal client, whichever that is. If it's interior design, if it's architecture, if you do remodels or any kind of contracting, you want to be sure that you're very specific. You can use something like ChatGPT. You can say, hey, help me get very specific and very clear on my ideal client. Help me write the copy to speak only to this person. And then you want to have in your headline and in your main call to action, you want to have the keywords, the main keywords that you're showing up for. If you're an interior designer in a big city, you want to have the main keyword will be, I'm interior design company in Miami, or in Austin, Texas, or wherever you are based. And that's your main keyword. If you work in other areas, you can build out separate pages like the ones we've seen. Here's an example from SDH. We have here a separate page for Miami interior designs. If we go to their homepage is Miami architects. So they're probably showing up for these keywords as well. If you do different kinds of services, different kinds of locations, you can build out a separate page for these service areas or for these locations, like the interior design example, and then show up for these pages. So your main ICP, okay? The third step, which you need to do, is get other pages to link to you. The easiest way to do that is, if you're not in Miami, but in a smaller city, is to reach out to all of your contractors, to all of your partners, to anyone that was somehow working together with you that has a website, and get them to link back to you. Usually that's not something, especially if it's bigger companies, they'll need time and money to do that. It's maybe their marketing manager who needs to go write an article, or there's things going on, right? You've seen in the example that I shared before, you need to have a relevant article, a relevant page where you can link back to this website. So you want to go in with the mindset of giving them some form of value. Like, hey, I know we worked on that project in the past couple of months. Can you link back to us, and can I write a free guest post for you? So you go ahead, write an article that's relevant to their audience, to their website. You go write this out, and in that article, you link back to your page. You send it to them, they publish it, and you get a backlink. Okay, that's the easiest way to acquire backlinks. The second easiest way is to go and run after any kind of PR that you receive. So if there's any kind of press releases, any kind of people that have featured you in some kind of magazines, events, you were a speaker at an event, you were involved in another event, you're listed somewhere, make sure that these people are linking back to your website. If they do not know you have a website, or you did not share the updated website with them, go reach out to them, send them an email. Hey, I saw you had me on that page, you had my name there. The easiest way is just to Google your name, your company name, and find out everyone who's talking about you. If anyone didn't link back to your current website, go reach out to them and ask them to do so. Okay, so this is the third step. Backlinks. Beyond that, it gets a little bit more complicated to acquire backlinks. I would in any case not recommend to go buy backlinks on Fiverr or some kind of cheap service where you get some kind of websites where you end up on a link farm, or some website that has thousands of links that are linking out to other websites, because this does not help you crawl the ranks in Google. In fact, it can harm your page, and Google does this regularly, where they just stop showing your results in Google because they've seen this activity with pages that they do not like. So be careful that when you get a backlink from another website that these pages are, legit, they're real, they're actually useful to the internet. People are reading these articles and they're not just some kind of BS that no one is interested in, because that's not going to be helpful. The last thing that we can do is we can make sure that we optimize our Google business profile, or Google My Business listing, how it was called earlier. If we go Google these keywords like architect or interior design studio in Miami, we see all of these Google My Business listings. And you can probably see one common denominator of all these listings up at the top. They're all talking about, design, Miami, interior design. So they have the keyword within their company name or in their listing. This is something that is really important. You see, as soon as we go outside of the top 3, we have other names which do not have interior design in them, except down here. So it is really helpful to have the main keyword, if this is what you do, in your name. If you do not have interior design or architecture or anything like that in your name, you can still put that there. It's a little bit of a gray hat, but Google doesn't usually have anything against it. And there's a couple of people that do it, right? Studio 790 is not necessarily the company name, but they have interior design there as well. And this also helps people understand that you are an interior designer versus just having Studio 790 there. The other thing that you can do is you can make sure that everything's updated, right? You can update your pictures, your company pictures, team pictures, anything that you have. This is completely free. Make sure that you get as many reviews as possible from people that know you, have worked with you before, and make sure that all your information is complete. You can have a description. You can add as many services as you want here. This will help you show up for these different terms as well, and make sure that you have a well overview, a good description talking about what you do, who you are, and again mentioning the different keywords and your ICP. Right here we have helps families, busy professionals. This is their target audience and they're speaking directly to them. Once you've made sure that your profile is up to date and your name and address and everything is correct and the same across the website and your Google My Business listing and everywhere, you can make sure that your profile is featured in a bunch of directories. That means you can go to pages like Yelp or other directories and make sure that your Google My Business listing is listed there. There's a couple of paid services that do that for you, that list you in these directories and help you update it. Some of them are called like Bright Local, or Yelp does it as well. Google My Business profile directories. You can Google them. They all charge a small fee per month, and they help you keep your Google My Business listing updated across all of these directories. So for example, Yext is also another service like this that helps you do that. Is it necessary to have one of those services? It really depends how serious you want to take this and how you want to ensure that it's updated and that you have all of these directory backlinks that also help your position in Google. So usually the listings all the way at the top, they're using some kind of service to help them keep all of these directory links updated and help them show up all the way at the top. A very important factor is that you have the name, address, and phone number correct. So here, this is called NAP, name, address, phone number, that this is the same across your website, across the Google My Business listing, and any other directory profiles that you create, that you make sure that this is the same. And with all of this, if you go and implement these steps, you're already going to have a significant increase and impact to rank on the first couple of pages of Google or in the first couple of results. It's not a super competitive industry. There's many websites, even just Googling this keyword right here, there's many websites that do not have a lot of authority and do not necessarily have a lot of backlinks to rank for this keyword. Okay, so if you would want to rank for interior design firms in Miami, it would be really easy for you to show up in the first page here with not a tremendous amount of content and backlinks to help you show up. It should be relatively easy and done within 3 to 6 months that you can show up at the top. If you have any questions or you need any help or you want us to look at your website and your marketing strategy in particular, you can click the link below the video and book in a free strategy session with myself or with the team. We'll go look at your marketing, at your website. We'll tell you exactly what it takes and what it needs and what that would look like. And if you have any other questions, you can also just leave a comment below and I'll make a video over it in the next one.